Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So these are the metrics that you will be using for linear regression. Okay, right. Let it load. Okay, so now let me come up with a very simple example. Okay, let me explain the linear relationship. Okay, what is linear? Let's say you are going to some fruit mall. Okay, fruit shop, let's say. Okay, you are like, whether you buy fruits or not, you have to pay 50 rupees for parking. Whether you are buying some fruits or not, you have to pay some 50 rupees for parking. Okay, let's say parking fare is 50. All right, and then you want to buy only apples. Let's say like that. Okay, you want to buy only apples. So one apple, okay, apple cost is 10 rupees. One apple cost 10 rupees. So you might be getting one apple or two apple or three apple or four, five, like that. So you can buy any number of apples. Okay, so quantity of apples, you can buy anything like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now how much the price you will be spending when you come out of the fruit shop and when you come to the parking lot? So once you start from there, how much amount would have spent? That is, price is equal to, if you have purchased one apple, it's like 1 into 10 plus 50. 60 rupees would have spent. If you have purchased 10 apples, 10 into 10 plus 50, right? So now we can write, okay, n into, okay, n into apple cost for n in quantity of apples. So now if I print that price that you have spent, it's like this. Okay, okay, so we need to add that parking fare, right? I forgot that. See, parking fare. Now you can see 60 is the minimum, 150 is the maximum. So if I point this, related this, like let's say PLT dot plot, okay, so I can say quantity of apples, comma price. Okay, I can just give red dash and then quantity of apples, comma price, comma GO. You can see what you see here. What you see here, it's a straight line. Okay, it's a linear. So whatever, like depends on number of apples, the amount that you spend in fruit shop, okay, it will be linear. So whenever you increase in the quantity of apples, obviously the price will be increasing. Okay, so but consider, okay, consider something like this. Okay, consider something like this. That is, you will not be buying only this. Okay, so in apple itself we'll be having two different types of apples, right? Okay, so we have different types of apples now. So this is a simple relationship. Okay, but in real life, okay, the data will not be in this particular format. Okay, the data will not be in this particular format. So for that, right, instead of taking this, let me take the CSV file itself, actual CSV file itself. Okay, so that is, I have the CSV file called salary data.csv. Okay, I have the file called salary data.csv. That is, in that I have two different columns. One is years experience, other one is salary. Okay, so now we have n number of data over here, like we have around 42. In that I have 31, we have the values, and then 42 we don't have the values. Okay, so now what we can do here is, okay, so I'm just going to load this. All right, I'm just going to load this data file. Let's say load the salary data file. All right, let's say what we can do, that is data is equal to pd dot read underscore csv dot slash data underscore files slash salary underscore data dot csv. Okay, so now we have something like this, data dot head. Okay, data dot head. So now what we are going to do is, first we are going to split it into two different types. First we are going to split it into two different types, like unknown salary and then known salary. That is known data and then unknown data. So what we are going to do is, we are going to predict the salary based on years of experience. Okay, so we are going to split into known and unknown. Okay, so in this case I can write known data is equal to, okay, data dot locate, or we can just write like this, right, data of pd dot not null of data of salary, and then for unknown we can just say is null. Correct? You guys know about this, right? Okay, so now you can see known data dot shape and then unknown data dot shape. So we have the data like this, like 30,2 and then 11,2, something like this. Okay, so now let's plot only this relationship. Let's plot only this relationship. All right, let's see how the data is scattered. Okay, so how the data is distributed. So now I can say plt dot plot, okay, of data of years experience is x-axis and data of salary, it's in y-axis. You can see here it's linear, but it's not in the straight line like this. Okay, so for this particular problem, okay, even if you buy 100 apples, we can easily find the price. It is not required for to go to the model. That is 100 into 10 plus 50. That's it. Okay, so 100 into 10 is 1000, and then I'll be spending some 1050 rupees, right? But over here, can we tell? Can we can we predict the salary by seeing the data? No, it's not at all possible. Okay, because data is in linear fashion, but it is not uniformly distributed like the previous one. Okay, it is not uniformly distributed like the previous one. So for this, we have to go to the model. Okay, so what we have to do, that is, hope you guys know about the equation. The what is the equation of line in linear algebra? Is nothing but y is equal to mx Okay, yeah, mx plus c. So in this example, c is nothing but parking fare, x is nothing but number of apple that is we have bought, and m is nothing but the fixed one, that is price of apple, and then y is nothing but dependent variable, the feature. Okay, so actually speaking, c is nothing but y intercept, where okay x touch the y, okay x axis touch the y axis. For example, if x is equal to 0, y is equal to c, correct? When x is equal to 0, y is equal to c. Okay, so c is nothing but y intercept, where it touches the y axis, the point where it touches the y axis, that is nothing but c. And what is this m? M is nothing but slope. Okay, m is nothing but slope, the rate of change of x with respect to y. Okay, so for this we have a formula, like in order to find the slope, right? We have a formula like x minus x bar, okay, into y minus y bar, okay, and then divided by x minus x bar the whole square, okay, the summation. Okay, so this is the formula for slope, to find the slope. So what is this x bar and what is this y bar? The mean of x, mean of y, okay, mean of x and mean of y, that is average of x and average of y. Okay, so but we will not be using all these formula, we will not be using all these formula at all. Okay, we will not be using, so everything will be done, okay, using linear regression class itself. That is, whenever you train the data, so that is the method called fit. Okay, whenever you call the particular method, everything will be calculated. Okay, everything will be calculated. That is, we'll be getting the slope, what is the slope, and we'll be getting the y-intercept, like that, everything will be receiving it. Okay, so but this is the logic behind it. Okay, this is the logic behind it. All right, so that's why you can see here, this is in terms of y is equal to mx plus c only, right? So parking fare is c, and this is nothing but m, and this is nothing but x. Okay, x into m plus c. Okay, so this is how we need to calculate it. All right, okay, so now let me just erase these diagrams and then coming back to this, so you can see how it is distributed, that is, what is the relationship between x and y. You can see somewhere like this. Okay, so your data is in the linear fashion, but not it is uniformly distributed. Okay, not it is uniformly distributed. So what we need to do, we have to build simple linear regression model in order to predict the salary for all these, okay, for all these, like let's say unknown data of years experience, or unknown data, let me just print it. See, for these years experience, I don't have the salary, so we need to predict the salary for all these years of experience. That's our ultimate objective. Got it? Guys, understood so far? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, so please try it out and then we will continue with model. Let me just copy it. So path, you have to give it properly.
Done from my end.
Yeah. So what about others?
Yeah, my end too.
Yeah. Okay. One more, I think. Ranjit?
Done.
Yeah. Okay. So now what we are going to do is we have the known data like this. Okay. We have the known data like this, right? So we have around 30 records over here. So we are going to split it into two parts. Okay. That is, we are going to split it into training data and then test data. Okay. So split the known data to training and test data sets. Okay, so for example, we can say like train underscore data is equal to, I can say known data dot ilocate all the rows, sorry, not all the rows, that is the first 20 records, and then both the columns. Okay, known data dot ilocate first 20 records and then both the columns. Then test data is nothing but known data dot ilocate from 20th record till the end and then colon, that is all the column, that is 20 colon. That is, whenever I say colon 20, what will happen? It will select till 19. Okay, that is 0 to 19. Okay, 0 to 19 to training record. Okay, and then it will select 20 to 29 to test data. Okay, so now you can see train data dot shape and then test data dot shape. You can see it 20,2 and then 10,2. So we have 20 records for training and then 10 records for testing. Okay, right. So now what we are going to do, we are going to get x and y from these set. Okay, we are going to get x and y. That is, x underscore train is equal to train data of years experience. Okay, years experience, and then y underscore train is nothing but train data of salary. Okay, train data of years experience, and then I can say dot values. So whenever I say dot values, what will happen? See, here I am selecting only one column, so this will return into series. Okay, and whenever I say dot values, what will happen? This will be written in the form of numpy array, right? Correct. So or else what we can do, I will I forgot to tell one thing previously. Okay, see, now this training data is what? It's a data frame. It's a data frame, right? So now what we can do is I can say train data dot values directly. That is, if you want to convert to numpy array, I can just say train data dot values. So whenever I say this, right, this will become a numpy array. See here, this will become a numpy array. Whenever I say train data dot values, this will become an numpy array like this. Okay, so now what we can do, basically, like we can just write this particular this thing for x-axis and this one for y-axis, like that we can just write it. Okay, so that also is possible actually. Okay, so for that, let me just write some function. Okay, get xy and then data set, and then I can say return data set of years experience, comma, data set of salary. Okay, so these two, this is a common function now. Okay, this is a common function now actually. So get xy of data set and then return data set of years experience and then data set of salary. So now what we can do is I can just write like x train That is, whenever I do this, right, what will happen? Let me just pass train data. So this will return two different data sets, right? See here, one is years of experience separately, other one is salary separately, correct? So here I can say dot values. Here I can say dot values. So now you can see it's in the NumPy array format. Okay, so we have two different arrays actually, right? So now what we can do here, I can just write x underscore train, comma, y underscore train. That's it. So it is not required to write four different lines of code. Okay, and similarly I can write x underscore test, comma, y underscore text is equal to get xy of test data. Okay, so now we have retrieved, okay, everything we have retrieved now. We have x train, y train, x test, y test. So now if you see the shape of x underscore train and then x underscore test, you can see the output like 20 comma and then 10 comma. It is in one dimensional array. Okay, it is in the form of one dimensional array. So whenever we want to send the data to any model, it should be in multi-dimensional. It will not accept one-dimensional data as an input. It will throw the error. It will clearly say except 2D array, expected 2D array got 1D array instead. It will give you the error. So now, how can I change this to? Okay, how can I change? So for example, if I print x train, I have something like this. I have something like this. But now I want to change this to two-dimensional data. So what function should I use? Reshape. Okay, so I can say x underscore train is equal to x underscore train dot reshape len of x underscore train comma 1. We are just changing to columnized vector. Okay, and similarly I can say x underscore test is equal to, or else we will be just doing like if you want we can do this here itself actually. That is, it is not required to do in this case. So what we can do is over here like x is equal to data set of years experience dot values. Okay, and then I can just say x is equal to x dot reshape len of x comma 1, and then y is equal to data set of salary dot values. Okay, over here I can just say return x and y, something like this. Okay, so now what will happen, you can see here x train dot shape and x test dot shape is 20 comma 1 and then 10 comma 1. Now if you just print this, you can see it is in the form of columnized vector. Got it? So that is, we have just put it in generalized one actually, that's it, nothing else. So we have to just reshape like this. So it will not accept one dimensional array as input. Okay, one dimensional array as input. So that's the reason we are just okay, that's the reason we are just giving it in two-dimensional format. Okay guys, yeah, so please take it down and then we will create the model. Okay, so please take it down. I will just come. Okay, so because there is some smoke here, so I will just come out. Please take it down because it's very difficult to talk. Actually, 1 second, I'll come back. Yeah, please take it down.
Okay.
Just a minute, I'll be back. Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, done?
Yes, done from my end.
Okay. So what about Susan and Ranjit?
Yes.
Done.
Okay. So now we are going to create the model. Okay. Now we are going to create the model. So let's say, so I can just write linear underscore regression is equal to linear regression. That is, first we are creating the object. Okay. First we are creating the object, and then we are fit the data. That is, fit the training data. Okay. That is linear regression dot fit. What is training data? X train and Y train. Okay. So we have to send x-axis data and also y train, that is y-axis data, that is input output. Okay. So what do you mean by fit? So in this scale, sorry, in this method, what will happen? It will train the entire model. Okay, sorry, the model will be training with the entire data set. Okay. So the output, it will produce the formula for best fit line. That is, it will generate m and c in y is equal to mx plus c. So it understands the patterns of the data, and then it will produce m and c. So if you have m and c, you can easily predict for anything, right? So now if I print the slope, okay, so I can just say linear regression dot coefficient underscore, and then if I want to print y intercept, okay, I can just write linear regression dot intercept underscore. So now you can see.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
So this is the slope. Okay, 9116 is the slope, and 26,577 is nothing but y-intercept. All right, that is when x is equal to 0, y is nothing but 26,577. So now you can see this is in the form of array, but this is in the form of integer. You can see that. Okay, why? Because there will be, see, in our example, there is only one feature, only one input feature, right? So if you see X train, we are using only one input feature here. Okay, but in multiple linear regression, we'll be having multiple features. Okay, like more number of input features for one output feature. So in that case, for each and every input feature, we will be having a separate slope. That's why it is in NumPy array. Okay, that's why it is in NumPy array. So the number of slopes depends on the number of input features. So now you can find easily, right? That is y is equal to, for example, let's say, what is the first one basically? That is for test data. Okay, if you see test data over here, or let's say this one 10.5. Okay, if I want to find for 10.5, okay, that is if I want to predict the value for 10.5 or something like this 1.1, if I want to find for 1.1 years of experience, okay, I can easily find it now. That is, I can say just predict for one data. Okay, let's say like y 1.1 is equal to, okay, y is equal to, I can just write what is slope 9116 into x is 1.1. Okay, and then we can just say plus, and then what is that, 26,000 9116, let's say 114, okay, and then 26,577.400, something like this. Okay, so if you want to consider fully, you can consider, no problem. So just I'm checking it. Okay, there is salary for 1.1 years of experience. Or else let's say complete value. Okay, and then let's say this one also. So now you can see the value is 36,605. Okay, 36,605 is a salary who has 1.1 years of experience. And what is the actual value? 39,343. Okay, 39,343. So the difference is 3,000, which is okay, right? See, we are just predicting it. Okay, we are just predicting it. So plus or minus 10,000 or like plus or minus 5,000 or 6,000, it should be fine. Okay, but it should not be plus or minus 30,000. We should have the, like, we should not have the major difference between the values. Okay, so now we have trained our model. Now what we are going to do is we are going to predict the salary for all training data. Okay, that is predict the salary for known training data. Okay, because this training data is known to the model, right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to do is like y pred train. Okay, y pred train is equal to linear regression. That is, we have to use the same object. We should not use different object over here. Okay, linear regression dot predict of x underscore trend. Okay, that is for the same inputs, what is the predicted salary? We are going to find it. Okay, so now we have the actual values. Okay, and then now we have the predicted value, that is y pred train. Now you can see, so actual is 39,343 and predicted is 36,605. And if you want to round it, yes, you can round it, no problem. Okay, and actual is 46 and then 38, 37 and then 40, like this. Okay, so now if I want to plot actual versus predicted, I can say plt dot scatter, okay, x underscore train comma y underscore train. All right, this is the actual data, training data. Okay, now what we are going to do, plt dot plot x underscore train, that is for the same x inputs, y underscore pred underscore train. You can see. Okay, let me just give some different colors. Let's say color is equal to red and color is equal to green. You can see here. So this is the best fit line. Okay, now the distance between actual and predicted is nothing but error. Okay, for example, consider now I have these values. Okay, let me take some few values over here. Okay, let me take some few values over here. That is, let's say actual salary and then predicted salary. Let's take some few values. Okay, so let's say like 39343 is actual. Okay, let me take it from here. Like let's take some 5 data. Okay, right. So what is the predicted salary for here? What is the predicted salary for first one? 36605, 36605, and for second one 38428, 38428, and for third one is 40 251, 40251, and for fourth one is 44809, 44809, and for fifth one is 46632. 632. Okay. Now let's explain how the accuracy will be calculated. That is, first let me explain mean squared error. Okay, the mean squared error. What do you mean by mean squared error? That is, we say MSE. Okay, that is mean squared error. What is error first? What is error first? The difference between actual and predicted. That is nothing but error, right? I can say this one minus this one. Okay, similarly, I can find the difference between everything. Now you can see these are all the differences. Now you can see some negative values here. Okay, that's why we are finding the square of it. That is squared error. What is squared error? That is, we need to square this, right? That is power of this one, comma 2. Squared error. Okay, and then for everything we are going to find. Okay, so, and what does this mean? Okay, that is, mean is nothing but mean of all squared errors. Okay, mean of all squared errors. That is, I can write over here MSE is equal to average of from here till here. This is nothing but MSE. Okay, this is nothing but MSE. That is mean of squared of all errors. Now, what we will consider is RMSE. What do you mean by RMSE? Square root of means mean of squared of errors. That is root of mean of squared of errors. That is, I can say here square root of this one. So now you can see this is, okay, this is what we expected. That is the average difference between the actual and predicted is 4927. This is the average difference, which is okay, right? Plus or minus 5000 is fine, no problem at all. Okay, that is, this RMSE should not be more. For example, it should not be like 40,000 or 15,000 or 30,000 like that. It should not be like that. Okay, so now what we are getting is 4927 as RMSE, just for considering 5 data. We haven't considered for 20 data actually. Okay, 20 data it will be different, might be. Okay, so this is nothing but MSE and this is nothing but RMSE. Now we have imported something over here called MAE, that is mean absolute error. What is that mean absolute error? Okay, so here we square it in order to negate, that is, in order to remove the negation. Okay, in order to remove the negation, we have squared it, and then we found the mean, and then we found the square root of that. Instead of that, we can just take the absolute value. What do you mean by absolute value? It will just negate it, right? Okay, if there is a negative sign, that will be removed. Okay, so now what we can do, MAE, sorry, that is absolute error. Okay, absolute error, we can just write ABS of this one, absolute of that particular value. So now you can see the values like this. Okay, and then what is this MAE? The mean of, okay, mean of all these values. Now you can see. So the average difference when you measure with MAE, it is just 4,212. Not much difference actually, right? 700 rupees difference. That's it between MSc and then MAE. Okay, so this is nothing but MAE, that is mean absolute error. Okay, this is nothing but MAE. So, and one more thing is there, that is nothing but R2 score. Okay, what is this R2 score? So R2 score is nothing but, okay, R2 score is nothing but 1 minus SS underscore R divided by SS underscore T. That is nothing but R2 score. That is sum of squares of residuals divided by sum of squares of total data points. Okay, that is nothing but R2 score. So we will be getting, let's say you are getting 0.25, something like this. Okay, 0.25, something like this, and then 1 minus 0.25. What is this? 0.75. So now 0.75 is the accuracy. So this will produce the accuracy score. Okay, this will produce the accuracy score. This will not produce the difference between the values. This will produce the accuracy score basically. Okay, so for example, you are getting, okay, so you are getting like, okay, see here, I can just say for this particular stuff, okay, so I can just say like 39,343 divided by something this. Okay, so sum of squares of all residuals and sum of squares of all this thing. So now if I am taking this one, right, so I can just say sum of everything, okay, that is equal to sum of everything, okay, and then again sum of everything, okay. All right, so then what is the difference between this? Like if I just divide it like something like this, something like this, so it is coming with coming up with 99%, but this is not the formula. Basically the formula is entirely different. We have to find the mean and all, then we need to find it. Okay, this is not the formula. All right, so formula is something like this. Okay, formula is something like 1 minus SS underscore R and then SS underscore T. That is the formula. All right, so let me come up with the formula now. Okay, so where is the drawing tools? Yeah, so the formula is something like this: 1 minus SS underscore R divided by SS underscore T. This is the formula for R2 score, and where SS underscore R is nothing but it's a summation of, okay, summation of y minus, okay, that is, yeah, y minus predicted y, the whole square, y minus predicted by the whole square, and then SS underscore T is nothing but, okay, equal to summation of y minus y bar the whole square. You have to do everything, this one. Okay, so you have to find this, and then you have to find this, you have to divide it, and then you have to subtract from 1. This is the formula for that. Okay, so now let me just evaluate it. Okay, so we have just seen theoretically, right? Let me just use this. Okay, so now evaluate. what we can do it first, let me just print MSE. Okay, I can say mean squared error of, you have to just pass y underscore train and then y underscore spread underscore train. That's it. This is MSE. See, this is nothing but MSE. So now if I want to find RMSE, what we can do, I can just say np dot square root of this. You can see average difference is 6039. That is the average difference. And then we can say MAE, that is mean absolute error. You can say y train, comma, y predicted train. You can see 5201 if you find with MAE. Okay, and then if you find the R2 score, that is accuracy. Okay, you can say R2 score of y train, comma, y spread train. So now you can see accuracy is 82%. That is into 100 you have to do. Okay, so accuracy is 82% now. Okay, so this is what you need to find for evaluation. So if you are fine with accuracy, then no issue. Okay, if you are not fine with accuracy, so you have to give more data to training and then less data for testing. So now we have evaluated the training data. So now what we are going to do is, we are going to predict for tested data. That is, we have something called test X, right? Okay, so please take it down and then we will see that test one. Okay, so please take it down. So guys, getting it right, everyone? Guys? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So please take it down and then we will see for test data. So don't worry about the formulas and all, okay? So just for your understanding, I explained those things like MAC, MAE, auto score and all, but it is not required for you guys to remember all the formulas. So you for everything you have the method. Okay, so you just need to call the method by passing only y data. It's not required to pass x data at all. Okay, there is, you need to pass actual values and then predicted values. That's it, nothing else.
So Mohan, to improve the accuracy rate, it is just about giving more training data. That's the only way, right?
No, that is for this particular problem. That is the only way. For example, if we have more number of features, right? Okay,
Okay.
then we can give the combination of the features that we will see during a multiple linear regression. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just the outcome of all the tests we did. See these numbers. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So these all consider statistics only, Susan, like this mean squared error, RMSE, those things and all. Okay, the thing is, like if we take it separately, right, then that will be like different case, right? So that's why I took it along with this model. So you can easily relate it basically.
Yes.
Okay. That correlation which I explained, that's also comes under statistics. And next one, something is there like inference. Okay, so I will explain that. What is the meaning of inference? Okay.
Done from my end.
My end too.
So
Yeah, done.
yes, okay. So now predict for test data. So this is called inference. The thing is, this linear regression, right? This linear regression model, the one which we created, for this particular model, it knows only this particular data. Okay, so it knows only training data. Okay, it doesn't know how that test data looks. Okay, what is the nature of test data, like that. Okay, so now inference means, so it tells how your model behaves for unseen data. Okay, so that's why we are having one more level of test. Okay, that's why we are having one more level of evaluation. So it is not mandatory. Okay, so for in some cases it is like if you want to have 3 levels of validation, you can have it. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so here we have like 2 levels of validation. One is with training data validation, the one which we have seen it over here, and then now we are going to validate against the test data. Okay, so for that, what I am going to do is y pred test is equal to, I am going to use the same model, that is linear regression. Okay, that is for this particular model, it is it is capable of understanding the training data, but it has never seen the test data. Now we are going to see how it is going to behave for unseen data. Okay, so now let me say dot predict of test data, sorry, I mean x underscore test. Okay, now let me just print it. Print what is actual test data, that is y underscore test. Okay, and then I can write print y predicted test. So now you can see, so 91,738 and 88,556. Okay, just 3,000 difference. So here some 7,000 difference, and here some 3,000 difference again. So like that. So now what we are going to do, we are going to just plot it like how it looks for test data. Okay, for like how it looks for test data, like x test, and then I can say y test, and then x test, and then y pred test. Okay, you can see something like this. Okay, now let's see the evaluation model, all the matrix. Okay, that is all the metrics. So let's see, this is nothing but y test, and then y pred test. So we can just give everything over here. Okay, and also over there, and also over there. Right, now you can see RMSE is 5,137 is the average change, and then MA is 3,950, and outer score is 0.71. It's not it's not much worse, right? So 70% is accuracy we are getting, like 72% is accuracy we are getting over here. So which is not that much worst. So like 30% is error. Okay, so now we have evaluated the second level also. Now what we are going to do, we are going to say unknown data. So this is the output, like this is the output that we are going to get now. Okay, so what we can do over here, I can just write, okay, x underscore unknown is equal to unknown data of years experience dot values. Okay, and then we need to reshape it, right? X underscore unknown is equal to x underscore unknown dot reshape of len of x underscore unknown comma 1. Okay, comma 1. So now what we can do over here, actually, so we can just predict it. Okay, that is y underscore unknown is equal to, okay, so I can say linear regression dot predict of x underscore unknown. Okay, so now if I print y underscore unknown, this is the output. Okay, that is for 3.5 years of experience, the salary is 58,483. For 4.5 years of experience, the salary is 67,599. Like this. So now we need to merge this particular value over here. In this case, what we can do is we can create the series. SRS underscore salary is equal to series of y underscore unknown. Okay, series of y underscore unknown, and then I can just give the index. What is the index starting point? 30, and then ending point is 40, right? So what we can do is I can just say that is list of range of 30 is the starting point, and then we can just write length of, that is 30 plus len of y underscore unknown. So now if I print this SRS, okay, now if I print this SRS salary, let's see how it looks. Okay, sorry, I need to give PD dot.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan, and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.